The claims made by the United States regarding the normal passage of vessels through the Strait of Hormuz are part of its usual and repeated propaganda, reflecting the desperation and helplessness of the U.S. military. They are nothing more than fabricated lies and falsehoods.
Has Mojtaba's Iran humiliated Trump by calling his Hormuz control claim a fabricated lie? Is Tehran now daring Trump by insisting no commercial ship can pass Hormuz without Iran's approval? Did Trump's claim of total Hormuz control just trigger Iran's sharpest public rejection yet? As the truce deadline nears, is Mojtaba now laying down a direct challenge for Trump? Could the US and Iran be heading back toward war even as both sides face growing military pressure? Iran fired back at Trump's Hormuz claim as the fragile ceasefire clock ticks, turning control of the world's most important energy choke point into a new front in the wider confrontation. On August 13th, Iran rejected Trump's claim that America has total control of Hormuz, insisting that Tehran still decides how shipping moves through the strategic waterway. Khatam al-Anbiya headquarters called the US claim a baseless and fabricated lie, accusing Washington of using propaganda to hide what it described as military failure.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, the claims made by the United States regarding the normal passage of vessels through the Strait of Hormuz are part of its usual and repeated propaganda, reflecting the desperation and helplessness of the U.S. military. They are nothing more than fabricated lies and falsehoods. I declare that the Strait of Hormuz, as in the past, remains under the full management and control of the Islamic Republic of Iran. No commercial vessel or oil tanker can, or will, have safe passage through the strait without the authorization and supervision of Iran's armed forces. The United States Central Command and the terrorist U.S. military have repeatedly tested the power and steadfastness of the Iranian people and their brave sons in the powerful armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran. The United States is constantly seeking to create mischief and insecurity in the region. Its baseless and unsupported threats, in the face of the full and ever-increasing preparedness of the heroes of Islam and Iran's armed forces, will produce nothing but further frustration and humiliation for them. The proud armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran are monitoring every movement of the American and Zionist enemies in the region. Under the wise and intelligent command of the Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency Ayatollah Sayyid Mojtaba Khamenei, they have never hesitated, and will never hesitate, in defending national rights, national sovereignty, the ideals of the Islamic Revolution, and our beloved country, Iran. In response to any kind of threat, at any level and in any form, they will deliver a stronger and more severe response than ever before. And I seek no victory except from God, the Almighty, the Wise.
The Iranian rebuke came one day after Trump claimed that the United States had total control of Hormuz, despite continued uncertainty over who can actually guarantee safe passage. The Hormuz war of words comes as the US-Iran Memorandum of Understanding nears its end, with Tehran demanding sanctions relief, an end to the blockade and recognition of its role in managing traffic. The clock is ticking on Iran's fragile ceasefire with Washington as tensions once again teeter on the brink of escalation. Iran has reportedly said there will be no extension of the ceasefire with the United States as the deadline draws closer. A senior Iranian source told Reuters that no talks are currently underway to extend the truce, leaving the agreement increasingly uncertain. Tehran says there can be no extension after Washington allegedly violated the pact with strikes shortly after the agreement began. Iran claimed America broke the interim agreement just 48 hours after it came into effect, according to Reuters. Washington must return to the Memorandum of Understanding before any broader peace talks can move forward, Iranian officials have reportedly insisted. Tehran has also demanded a clear timeline for the United States to fulfill its commitments under the MoU before negotiations resume. The Iranian official said there has been absolutely no progress on the issue, adding further uncertainty to the fragile ceasefire, according to Reuters. The Iran official said, and I quote, "One of the issues that is being discussed via mediators is the U.S. returning to the interim agreement and defining a time frame for implementing its commitments. There has been absolutely no progress on this issue. There is no talk of an extension because the United States violated the interim agreement 48 hours after it was reached and withdrew from it a few days later." End quote. A Pakistani government source, however, claimed that the US and Iran had agreed to extend the 60-day ceasefire, according to reports. The 60-day period was intended to give Iran and the United States time to work toward a broader and potentially final agreement. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump launched another lengthy attack against Iran on Truth Social, escalating his rhetoric further. Donald Trump claimed that American forces have total control over the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. Trump said, and I quote, "The USA has total control over the Strait of Hormuz. I think we will keep it. Our naval blockade is being called, by everyone, a wall of steel. And there is nothing Iran can do about it. They have no navy, they have no air force, their remaining soldiers are unpaid, the IRGC is decimated and fleeing. And their leadership is uncertain, at best. They have no money. Their country is shot. All they have is fake news and 300% inflation. And getting worse. Iran is all talk and no action. The bully of the Middle East no longer. Praise be to Allah." End quote. Trump's latest threat comes despite reports that America is grappling with mounting pressure on its munition stocks and interceptor supplies. Iran had adapted its attack tactics as US interceptor stocks fell, using larger and more complex attack waves to put greater pressure on American air defenses. Iran reportedly used waves of missiles and drones to overwhelm US defenses and force them to expend scarce interceptors at a rapid pace. The attacks targeted 3 US bases in Jordan during 5 intense days of fighting in July 2026, according to the New York Times. The missile salvos forced US forces to fire large numbers of scarce Patriot interceptors, rapidly draining their available defensive stockpiles. On July 17th, one missile penetrated defenses at a US base and killed 3 American soldiers, showing the limits of the defensive shield. More than 100 people were wounded, while other attacks also damaged several aircraft, according to the New York Times. The US fired about 50 Patriot interceptors in a single day, highlighting how quickly Iran's attacks were consuming defensive missiles. Each Patriot interceptor costs about $4 million, adding significant financial pressure as the US races to replenish depleted stocks. The Pentagon used more than 1,500 Patriot interceptors and had fewer than 1,700 left, according to figures cited by the New York Times. The US produced about 600 Patriot interceptors throughout 2025, meaning wartime consumption could quickly outpace replacement rates. Iran combined missile and drone attacks to force US defenses to track and intercept different threats arriving at the same time. Iran effectively used tactics previously seen in Russia's war in Ukraine, combining different weapons to complicate and stretch air defenses. The tactics forced US forces to handle multiple threat types arriving from different directions, increasing the pressure on defensive systems. Iran appeared to have learned from earlier clashes with Israel and the US since the Gaza war, adapting its tactics for future attacks.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HD app. Download now.